When everyone meets, Izumo compliments Kyoka in having a slave that can make a mean cup of coffee. The Supreme Commander has sent out a message regarding the appearance of the vicious humanoid Shuki. Suzuma has come to discuss it. All squadrons usually act independently, but moving forward, the Demon Defense Force will be more cohesive. Azuma is a real jerk as she mocks Amari for fainting during the battle against the humanoid. She calls her a coward and tells her that she is dragging their family's reputation through the mud. Azuma tells her to just give up on her dreams already and to come home with her. In reality though, Isumo points out that the humanoid Shuki is actually quite strong. Kyoka agrees and can understand why they have all been ordered to work together. Azuma expresses her confidence in teaming up with Kyoka, but she doesn't have any trust in Kyoka's team. She rudely says that she won't name any names, but there is someone that she is sure will slow them down. Kyoka gets an idea and points out that it's important for them to assess each other's strength. In order to do this, she recommends that they hold an inter-squad model exhibition match. Everyone is shocked and Yuki's dumb brain immediately thinks of a sports match. Thankfully, Nate corrects him and informs him that it's actually a contest of strength and skill between squadrons. Kyoka would like for it to be single combat, so Izumo agrees Azuma will have to make preparations first, so they leave just then. Hamari asks Kyoka to help her prepare for the match. Kyoka explains that it won't be easy, but Hamari proclaims that as long as it means she will win, she will do whatever it takes. Kyoka agrees and tells her to start training right away. Hamari then turns to Yuki and reveals that what their agreement really meant was that Yuki would be her slave. Now, after the girls enjoy Yuki's cooking, he reveals that his secret ingredient was chicken fat. Amari calls him a great slave, so he wonders how that ended up happening in the first place. The answer is simple. It's for the sake of the motto exhibition, and Hamari declares that she has to win. Kyoka knew that Azuma's attitude struck a nerve, so this match gives Hamari the opportunity to teach her a lesson. As they travel for training, Yuki still can't figure out how he ended up being Hamari's slave. Hamari reveals that transforming parts of her body into weapons isn't actually her main ability. She shows her real power by showing Yuki her phone, but it just looks like some kind of trading card game. Hamari explains that her ability is called learning. This means she can learn other people's abilities and use them herself. Yuki points out how overpowered that is, and Hamari goes on to say that all she has to do is select a person's ability on her phone and implement it. She has the commander selected now so she can use Kyoka's ability. Yuki wonders if Hamari knows all the details of Kyoka's ability, but all she knows is that it's physically demanding. Hamari thinks it just means that she will have to take over the cleaning and laundry, and proclaims that she doesn't mind doing that stuff as long as she beats her sister. Just then they are surrounded by Shuki, so Hamari has Yuki transform. Yuki points out that he warned her already, so he transforms, but the process this time is a bit different. This time he is a different shape compared to when the commander does it, and Demon Yuki is much faster. He thinks about how he can move with lightning speed in this form, and he is even faster than Kyoka. The main drawback is that he clearly isn't as strong, but he decides to just work with what he has. Yuki uses his immense speed and unleashes an insane barrage of punches. Amari is of course amazed and becomes confident that Yuki can help her beat her sister. After Yuki finishes up destroying the Shuki, he wonders why Hamari chose this ability over any other ones that she could choose. Inari explains that it's because this gives Yuki a chance to be useful. She begins to tell him that he should be grateful, but she stops when she finds out the price for using Kyoka's ability. After Yuki is rewarded for his work, he explains that Hamari would be better off using a different ability. Hamari says that she would if she could, but there is a compatibility component to her learning power. It degrades the quality of most abilities to the point that they become useless. For example, if she were to use Shushu's growing abilities, then only her nose would grow by an inch. Yuki reminds her of the price for using Kyoka's abilities, but Hamari just accepts it. Yuki wants to know why she is so desperate to beat her sister, so she gives him a little history lesson. She was born into a very influential family with major accomplishments and motto. All her older sisters were successful, so everyone had high hopes for Hamari. However, she would often overexert herself before a big event and get hurt, or she would get nervous and come down with a fever. She has never had any results to show for it, and Yuki thinks about how he can relate. The weakness in her power was also well known, so she would always get teased when she couldn't keep up with their sisters. This is her first chance, and she cut ties with her family to prove them wrong about her. Hamari demands a Yuki cooperate, and he thinks about how hard it is to help someone that can't even ask politely. Hamari then reveals that her ultimate goal is to become a hero, just like their commander. She hopes that she will become a new version of herself if she can beat Azuma. Hamari wants a different side of her to shine, and Yuki can relate to that as well. Hamari points out that there is only one thing missing for the fight, and that is a finishing move to demolish their enemy. Now that Yuki actually uses his brain to think about it, he realizes that all he has been doing so far is mindlessly punching and kicking everything in sight like a maniac. He has his own reasons for wanting to become stronger, and he begins to wonder if Amari is the key to opening a new path. Yuki is convinced and agrees to help her. Amari reminds him that he is her slave and explains that her sister's power is called Golden Hour. She can control time, including freezing it and rewinding it. After hearing this, the once very confident and optimistic Yuki realizes that they are screwed. At the other squadron storm, Azuma consents that her sister is talking about her. She vows that she will put Hamari in her place at the motto exhibition and couldn't be more excited for that day. During practice, Hamari reveals that while Azuma's power is undoubtedly dangerous, it consumes power. She will get tired if she uses it too many times. And that is how they will win. Yuki points out that just the fact that Azuma can use her ability more than once is a huge problem, but there is more. Hamari explains that Azuma strikes a weird pose to trigger her ability as it's a routine that supposedly enhances her skills. Because of this, you could recommend that they use his blistering speed for their finishing move. Himerio agrees and plans to use an ultra-fast maneuver that won't even give Azuma time to freeze or rewind time. It will also have to have enough force to knock Azuma out of the fight completely. Yuki tries out a swift step forward into a head punch, but it needs to be polished into a deadly blow that can't be dodged. Hamari has Yuki channel all his strength into a single part of his body, so he does it to his legs and they get huge. Just then, Shukis appear just in time to serve as practice dummies. Yuki's giant legs make him even faster than before, but his first attempt at the special move doesn't go so well. After defeating all the Shuki again, Yuki realizes that he overdid it as his legs are exhausted. It's clear that he lost all his arm strength since he poured all his energy into his legs. Hamari determines that he just needs to keep experimenting with it until he perfects his technique and rewards him, this time with a nice little pet on his head. Kyoka arrives at their next training session and she's amazed to see that Yuki really does look different. She also compliments Amari for thinking about a good finishing move, but wonders why she's watching him from so far away. Kyoka reminds her that there is a fundamental essence to using her ability and tells her to make her proud as she leaves. Her words make their way through Hamari's mind, so she mounts Yuki and explains that she will be riding him during the exhibition match. Hamari thinks about how Kyoka's ability requires that she control her slave, not just sitting back and coaching him. Hamari grabs a hold of his chains and orders him to channel his strength into his legs. Yuki does and strangely notices that he feels more power flowing through him than before. Hamari orders him to crush the first Shuki they see, and his attack destroys it easily. Yuki can't even believe what he just did, and they realize that it's a foolproof finishing move that they were working towards. Yuki isn't sure if he can replicate it, but luckily for them, there are plenty of practice dummies appearing to help out. After defeating them all, Yuki is 1,000,000 times more worn out than usual. Yuki receives his next reward and vows to master this new technique so he can put it to use again in the future. A sweet training montage begins, and it shows how Yuki gets more and more powerful on the day of the exhibition match as among the others arrive. Azuma can tell that Hamari has something planned, but she tries to put that in her mind as she doesn't think her sister will be able to pull it off. Hamari gets a bit flustered, but Yuki arrives to tell them that the match will begin soon. Yuki can tell that Hamari is bothered, so he tells her not to worry and reminds her that they trained their butts off. Hamari's confidence is restored and she guarantees that they will win. When everyone's ready, they all write their names down so a girl named Gina can use her ability. It allows her to create a barrier by drawing a line on the ground that acts as a boundary only those who sign their names can enter. Furthermore, any damage sustained during combat inside the barrier will be healed. Gina will serve as the referee, and she is just glad that she can witness a demon defense force in action. Not everyone believes that Peach's grand power is based on a person's nature and knowledge, but she does. Because of this, she is excited to see everyone's powers. Gina's barrier can withstand the power of 1,000, Shuki, and they're also counting on her to judge the fight. Yuki can obviously tell that Jean is a demon defense force fangirl, but this also means that she hates men, and counts as a non-fighter, so her job is to cheer on her teammates. Right off the bat, Round 1 will be between Hamari and Azuma. The rules are whoever gives up or gets knocked out first loses. Injuries will be healed, so they are encouraged to go all out. Azuma plans to drag Hamari back home when she beats her, but Hamari explains that she isn't the same person she was back then. She declares that she will win and has Yuki transform. Azuma won't deny a dog handler to use her dog in battle, so she allows Yuki to take part in the fight. With both sides ready, the match begins. Azuma starts by warning her sister, but before she can even finish her sentence, she's gasping for air from Yuki's lightning-fast attack. She has no clue where it came from, but gathers herself to rewind time by 5 seconds. Time rewinds to the very start of the match, but Hamari can tell that Azuma's getting tired. Luckily for them, they planned ahead in case they couldn't finish her with a single blow. Azuma prepares to find out if their first attack was a fluke and thinks about how Hamari doesn't seem to have realized that her time manipulation ability has gotten stronger. Azuma points out that little sisters can never be big sisters and uses her ability called Prime Time. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more videos like this.